Hey Spartans, welcome back to Spartan Stand. Today we're going to talk about brilliance in the basics. On a previous episode, I introduced a concept called performance on demand and how that can contribute to preparing and living a life of ready state or a readiness mindset. This week with Brilliance in the Basics, I'm giving you a specific action to be able to develop that performance on demand mindset. I find that everybody likes the highlight reel. Everybody likes the flashy or the sexy stuff, the advanced techniques, or doing the complex. We're fascinated with complexity. I think that's flawed. I find that the flashy stuff, the sexy stuff only happens or is only successful, or the degree of success is based on how close it matches ideal conditions, prepared for conditions, or optimal situations. We try to design something to fit a specific niche, and then it doesn't fit every day, or when catastrophe happens, or when our faculties are diminished, fatigue sets in, it's wet or it's raining. If you go back to any advanced technique, they're built upon the basics. How well you can execute the basics is what determines on whether or not you're even going to be capable of executing the advanced technique. When I was in the Marine Corps infantry community, we loved to do attacks on objectives. And the men always would be, hey, let's do an envelopment, and we'll maneuver under fire, and we'll shift fires, and we'll bring in all different kinds of smoke signals, and we'll do all this complex stuff in order to be successful at reducing this obstacle or this enemy. And while that sounds attractive, and it's a great thing, I mean, two questions have to be asked. Is it necessary to do all of that? Or can you even do the basics first that would predicate us to even doing the advanced thing? So I would then say, well, at a minimum, you have to be able to execute a frontal attack to be able to do your plan. So why don't you show me how well you can do this frontal attack? Well, we're so far past that. We could do this and we can do this. Well, good. Well, then a frontal attack should be easy. Let's go out there and do that first. And if it's so easy and so basic, you should nail it. You should knock it out of the park. And what happened 9 times out of 10 was the success of the frontal attack was marginal at best. I mean, or it wasn't to a degree of fidelity that would, induce any type of confidence that you could do this in a combat scenario. So we repeated and reiterated and practiced the very simple frontal attack. What happens is in real life, that was what we ended up defaulting to anyways, because circumstances were too complex, too crazy, too hectic, too uncertain to try to even manage. Combine that with the uncertainty of an enemy's will, the weather, lack of ammo, craziness, confusion, casualties. Now your complex solution isn't even a viable solution at all. I want you to practice drilling the simple stuff into your everyday life. It's like climbing a rope. I want to do the wraparound technique to climb the rope until I'm super good at it. It comes natural. It's just automatic. Then I can practice maybe the step-on technique or the legless technique because it's quicker. Maybe not more efficient, but it might be quicker. When you're out there running a course and you get to the rope and your hands are muddy and you try to do the step-on technique and you keep slipping down, if you don't have the simple wraparound technique that's more efficient, more reliable, you're going to fail. So drill into yourself brilliance in the basics. Reduce every complex problem into its rudimentary steps and practice those steps. When I find myself struggling or faced against an obstacle or a challenge or something of the unknown, I default to doing it the way that I know best. The most simple, the least complex, the most efficient. That's typically the way I get through things, especially in hard times. I hope you found something useful in this episode of Spartan Stand. Again, I'll see you next week on Monday as part of the Spartan Up podcast series. Google us, you'll find us there.